Welcome, everybody. I guess for our media members, just so you know that silence your cell phones. You may not record this with your cell phone, no flash photography. Raise your hand if you have a question. We'll get the microphone over to you from Alyssa. And if you're on Zoom, use your raised hand function and we will get to you as well. So with that, we will start things off with questions for our student athletes. Isaiah James, Sanaya Rivers from NC State. Both went to the Final Four last year and trying to get back this year. Any questions for Isaiah or Sanaya? Yes, over here to the left.
Well, first things first, y'all had a few days prepare now for the NCAA tournament. Just your first impressions on your first opponent here with Vermont. First impressions on your opponent. What have you seen from the tape?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say a name. Yeah. We're taking one step at a time. Focusing on one team at a time. Vermont is still good. So we're gonna play our game as well as they're gonna play their game. So it comes down who's gonna work the hardest, who wants the game the most. So it's gonna be a good game.
Yeah, I think they're going to force us to work 40 minutes, the full game. Obviously, it's March Madness. If you're here for a reason. Before this game, I don't think I've heard a whole lot about Vermont, but obviously, like I said, they're here for a reason. And like I said, we just have to do what we do. It matters who we play. Of course, film matters, but at the end of the day, if we don't do what we're supposed to do, rebound, defend, share the ball, play together, it's not going to matter. So hopefully we lock in on the scout and do what we need to do.
Next question, to remind you, please wait for the microphone so everybody at home can hear too. Wait for the mic, Ernie.
All right. Ernie Myers, Wolfpack Sports Radio. Sanaya, Isaiah James, last year you kind of took the tournament by surprise. Not many people in the ACC, but going into the tournament, you averaged 28 points a game. How are you going to approach this tournament now that you're going to be probably on the top of everybody's scouting report? How are you going to approach that?
Sanaya, you go first.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Just to Isaiah. Okay.
Just allowing the game to come to me. I know I had a good run last year, but this is a different tournament. This is a different era. Just having a good group of girls surrounding me. They pick me up every chance they get. So just laying on them and just working hard.
Next question. Over here to the right.
Bob Sutton with the Associated Press. For both players, how do you kind of temper the excitement of the tournament, knowing that you're hoping it's going to be a 3-weekend situation? You made it to the third weekend last year, and just kind of pace yourself and not get too far ahead of yourselves.
Isaiah?
Like I said previously, just one step at a time. We can't think about ahead because it's going to, mess up the train. So, Coach Moore emphasized just, watching the team that we're playing right now and not focus on, the next few games ahead, because the team, like Naya said, they're here for a reason. They're going to run us the whole time. They're going to defend us the whole time. So it's a matter of, what we want, how we want it.
I think it's hard. Obviously, we've been to the Final Four just last year, and knowing that we can get back there, it's kind of hard not to look ahead. But like I said, you don't want to because you got to take it one game at a time because you can't get to the next game until you win the first. So, but it's hard. Obviously, we want to get back there. We're more than capable to, and we want the freshmen to experience that as well. We've been through it. I've been through it a couple of times, obviously, for myself playing at South Carolina. But it's an experience, and I want everybody to be able to experience it, and I think we definitely can, but one step at a time. So.
Over here to the right.
Peter Katrumpis, Triangle Sports Network. This is to both players. Consistency is important for a program to build and continue and continue to find success year after year, and you guys have done that so far. And what's your message to newer players coming in, not only just freshmen, but those that may transfer in, but you've stuck around and there's reasons why you have. If you can explain why first and also how that's helped to build that consistency for this program and your team to keep climbing higher and reach new heights each year.
Sanaya, you take that one first.
Okay. I think it all depends on what you want, honestly, what you want to get out of it. Everybody comes into college with a different, goal. Is it you want to win a national championship? Is it NIL? Is it you want to make friends here? It just depends on what you want. Obviously, I came in wanting to win national championships. I got one in South Carolina, but I realized that I wanted a little bit more, maybe on the court, off the court. I wanted to be closer to family. So it's like I made that transition for myself. So it just depends on what you want. For players coming in, I say really look at those things when you're deciding to college. Look at all the aspects because you're going to be here for 4 years. Nobody can make the decision except you. I don't know, college is hard. It's way different from high school. It's a different transition on and off the court. So I just, encourage players to really think about the whole picture, on and off the court, academics, recovery, mental health, because it's all a factor, especially right now in the home stretch. You got to be mentally locked in. Our bodies are aching. We're playing back-to-back games. It's almost like AAU. You're playing game after game. So you just got to lock in, and I feel like you can really prepare before you even get here. So that's what I would say.
Isaiah?
Definitely, she hit all key points, but just one reason I say just finding your why you want to do this, to encourage you a little bit, just trusting the process. Like I know since my freshman year, I came a long way, so just staying the course and, working on yourself every day, dedication is the key to this game. So just preparing yourself for the downfalls, for the, uprisings, and, surround yourself with the good people that you can live, like Naya said, you can live with for 4 years, and the great coaching staff. Just you got to find every keys that be suitable for you.
I want to add, I think family is a big why for both of us. Because if you look at the crowd, me and Zah's family are probably over, taking the whole family section. So
I hear my mom.
Yeah, every time. You're going to hear my dad, too. So I think that's a big why for the both of us. So, yeah.
Next question over here to the left.
Brian Pirtle, Pat Pride 24/7 Sports.
Good job, Brian.
Well, just like you mentioned, y'all will be in front of family here in Reynolds Coliseum. Just both of you being in your last year, how special is it to be able to host and also play these last hopefully 2 games inside the old barn?
Sanaya?
It's exciting. It's bittersweet. Goodness, it's going to be our last game regardless, the last 2 games at home against Reynolds. I'm pretty sure I'm going to cry. I haven't cried yet. We had senior night. I stayed strong, whatever. But even right now, it's just emotional preparing to play our last game. But hopefully, we get it done, the last 2. And I think we're just excited about it. I think we're really prepared.
It sucks we only get 6 tickets, I don't know how many texts I got. Can I get a ticket? Can I get a ticket? My family just being out there, just seeing them in the crowd. I thought, scoring buckets, it just feels so good. And like Naya said, the last 2 games in Reynolds is so crazy. I've been here since freshman year, so just to see it pass by me so fast and going to the next level is so surreal.
Daniel Wilson, InsidePackSports.com. Y'all mentioned a bit about the freshmen. Just want to ask, how have you seen them sort of balance the excitement of being in the dance for the very first time and focusing in on the opponent? How have you, as leaders, helped them kind of temper their emotions?
Isaiah?
Definitely, it goes back to last year, like the last year freshmen. They're not freshmen when it comes around this point. They already showed it to us. They proved it to us. They've been thrown in the fire all season long, and we seen their progress since the summer. So, we're proud of them. We're proud of Zam, Lorena, Devin, Tilda. They all came a long way, and can't wait to see what they do in the next few years.
I think some of them have more nerves than excitement. And that's expected, right? They're freshmen. They've never been here before. But obviously, we just encourage them to kind of change their perspective. Like, okay, you're here for a reason. You're almost through your freshman season. So I just think that, like I said, they've all worked hard to get here. And when you have nerves, it just means you care. And they don't want to mess up when they go out there. But obviously, they want the chance to touch the floor. So it's kind of hard to differentiate the two. But, I mean, nerves are good. And I just hope that when their number's called, they're ready. So,
Brian, over here.
Brian got all the questions.
Well, speaking of the freshmen, it seems like we've seen a lot of them, and kind of down the stretch of the season and into the conference tournament. It seems like the rotations have been pretty. Y'all aren't playing 40 minutes every night like we saw a lot in last year's run. How much does that help y'all as the main core be able to stay fresh over the grind of March, and also help the freshmen be able to contribute, and young players contribute in big minutes like we've seen down the stretch of the season?
Sanaya?
Staying fresh is definitely key down the stretch. And just like I said, them being prepared to come on the court when their number is called is big. It really shows our versatility. It just shows that we have a deep bench and that anytime someone's jersey is called, they're ready to, handle whatever. We never know if it's going to be foul trouble. We never know, knock on wood, if it's going to be injury. Somebody's having a bad night. It doesn't matter. I think that they work hard enough in practice and have proven themselves worthy to be a part of this just as much as anything else. So I think down the stretch, they're definitely going to be needed. And I just hope, again, I can't stress enough that they're ready to, perform when it's their time.
Isaiah?
I don't know if y'all seen, but we getting a little old, so we need that little break. We need that little rest, but when their numbers are called, I feel like they handle it very well. They execute everything Coach Morris says. They look at us when we're on the court and do the same thing. So just to see them do that, it gives us a relief of we can, go to the bench and get a little break and trust our other teammates to handle the same situation that's going on in the game.
Got about 5 more minutes. Ernie has another question.
Wolfpack Sports Radio. Just talk about your maturation, both players coming out of high school. Is this what you expected out of your careers here? You started at South Carolina, but is this where you figured yourself to be at this time in your careers? Going into the WNBA after this, and All-American statuses, and is this what you, as a young kid playing ball, envisioned for yourself?
Isaiah?
Definitely. I have been playing ball since at least 3rd grade. So that was instilled in my mind since that point. I wanted to go to the next level. I was playing under a good coach. I was, blessed to, be a 4-year state champion in high school. And to come to college, my freshman year definitely did humble me to, lock in with myself, understand myself, who I am as a person, and it made me who I am today. So definitely.
Whew, you taking me back. Let me see.
Yeah.
No, I think for me, my thoughts and feelings have fluctuated a lot. Since I've been younger, everybody always had that dream college that they wanted to go to. I don't think I've ever had that. Being younger, I would hit all the games. I'm from North Carolina, so I would go to state games, Duke games, Carolina games. But just coming up, I think I just knew I wanted to play basketball, whether that was a professional, collegiate, high school, whatever the case may be. I just wanted a ball in my hands. I think when high school hit, Hurricane Florence took a toll on me. I had to move. I had to transfer schools, so I think that hit. COVID was a factor, and I think at that point where I couldn't play basketball, I was just okay, I don't know what to do now. So I think it was just a big mental aspect for me, just hopping around, not knowing what I wanted to do. Everybody knows I had points where I didn't even know if I wanted to play professionally. So I went to Kelsey Plum's camp, changed my perspective. So I think for me, it's just gone all around. But if you would have asked me if I expected to be on a Final Four team or be a part of a championship team or cut down nets or be drafted in the WNBA, I hope, you know what I'm saying? So I just don't think I ever would have saw any of this. Yeah. But my parents sacrificed a lot for me. And like I said, family is a big motivation for me. So I think just wanting to, give things a try. And I think it just shows that I love them and I want to get back to them. And I want them to know that none of that went to waste and that they didn't sacrifice for nothing. So I think that's what drives me. And like I said, I never expected to be here. So, yeah.
Probably got time for one more question. We'll go back to Brian.
So I don't know if you remember, we asked you in the preseason if you had a dark horse breakout pick on this team. You said Tilda Trieger, ACC All Freshman. That's pretty good pick right there. Just what's it been like to see her grow and throughout the season? And Sir Zai, you can talk about this as well. Just basically in a trial by fire situation, learning on the job. She did a pretty good job.
Oh my God.
Sanaya?
Yeah, I knew she was gonna be special. I hate to say I told you so, but I told y'all so. But she, just to see her grow. Obviously, Tilda came in a shooter. Tilda wanted to play the wing. I heard all the phone calls with Coach Morris. She was just like, "Wait, post? I want to play the wing. I want to be a guard." And you come in and Tilda, baby, you 6'6", you're going to the post. You know what I'm saying? So just being thrown in the fire, like you said, I think that's the quickest way to learn. And obviously, she's done a great job for us. I think me and Tilda have a personal connection on that pick and roll, pick and pop. Yeah. Obviously, everybody's gonna look for on the roll and pop, but something about that duo right there, I can't really shake. So, Tilda has grown a lot on and off the court. Y'all don't know the Tilda we know off the court. She might come off a little shy, but that girl is not shy at all. And just to see her at all, just to see her grow, it's just beautiful. And I know she's going to be great for this program for the next 3 years. And I just hope that those nerves have kind of passed her by and that she's ready to, step it up right here because it's big. It's big. And people, I think, hearing her name more has really like motivated her a lot. So I think she knows like how big she is to this team, and I think she's really gonna show up in ways y'all haven't even seen this season. So be on the lookout, and remember I told y'all so again. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Isaiah?
Just like Naya just said, Tilda, since the summer, she was quiet, she was timid, she really, was by herself. But then once we start getting that chemistry back together, she just blossomed, and it led onto the court. Like Naya said, when she started to hear her name and things like that, she's starting to play more aggressive. She's starting to, execute a lot of plays, doing the things that, she probably thought she never would have done on this type of floor. But Tilda, she's like more than a teammate. She's our sister. We love the bond with Tilda. If y'all don't know, we part Sweden now. She's been teaching us a lot of Sweden lately. So, we got a little stuff in our bag. But no, Tilda's going to be great in the next few years, and I can't wait to see. I'm so proud of her. The way she just learning so fast. Coach Moore is like throwing everything at her every week, and she's like handling it every time. So just to see that, I'm proud of her.
Isaiah and Sanaya, thanks for your time and welcome
Thank
to the
you.
Thank you,
NCAA
guys.
tournament. If you need a recording of this, Hammond Communications will provide this on ncaa.veritone.com. You can also find transcripts at asapsports.com. It'll be up momentarily. Coach Westmore will join us in about 4 minutes. It's postseason. In case you need an introduction, this is NC State coach Westmore entering his 12th season, coming off an ACC Coach of the Year performance where the Wolfpack tied for the regular season for the ACC Championship. We will start with our questions from the audience. Please raise your hand and wait for the microphone, and we will get this press conference started. Who wants to go first? Batting leadoff. Way to go, Brian.
Somebody's got to do it.
There you go.
Well, Coach, like we just heard, ACC Coach of the Year. You've had a few of those in your career, but it's a great conference for women's college basketball. Just what does it mean to you to be in that conversation for the best coach and one of the best leagues in the country?
Oh, it's a great honor. Obviously, it's a team award. Let's face it. You got to have great players that make plays, and then surround yourself with really good people, which I've been blessed to do with our staff. And so I get it. It's a team award, but it's a great honor when you look at the coaches in this league, and it's always nice to be recognized by your peers and that sort of thing. So it's a great honor. I'm very proud of it, but I also realize it's a team award, and it's about our program.
Next question. Go over here to the right, Bob.
Bob Sutton with the Associated Press. Wes, now that this week has arrived and there is all this hubbub in the triangle with the three women's teams and the men's regional, what's your take on that? And does it maybe take away a little bit from each program that everyone's getting a piece of the pie, or how do you look at that?
I don't think so. I think we're sold out, aren't we, Stephanie? Yeah. So, we not much more we can do than that. So, I don't. I think it's awesome. This is ACC, Tobacco Road. This is what it's all about. And to have 8 men's teams, and then have all 3 of the local teams and the women's side hosting is pretty amazing. It's a great accomplishment. Makes it hard to get hotel rooms, things like that. But other than that, I think it's what it's about, March Madness, and it's always exciting here in ACC country.
Ernie?
Coach, Wolfpack Sports Radio. Talk about the maturation of women's basketball. You've been in the game for a long time. Yeah, right. You've been in the game 34 years. You watched the game grow to where it is? How do you feel? Is this where you envisioned women's basketball when you started coaching at,
Yeah.
at the begin? I mean, this.
Yeah, I started at Maryville College, right outside Knoxville, Tennessee, and no, I probably didn't see this on the radar. Heck, I don't know if I saw this on the radar when I first got here to NC State. It's just exploded, and a lot of it has to do with the players. They're athletic, they're talented, they're skilled, they've worked really hard at their trade, and because of that, it's a great product. And I think our Final Four maybe outdrew the men's Final Four viewership last year. I mean, that's impressive. And so it's an exciting time to be a part of it. I'm happy for our student athletes, for the young ladies to get recognized and to get the attention that I feel like they deserve. So it's pretty awesome. But I don't know, you have to look back at, Kay Yao, Pat Summitt, Tar Vanderveer, what Gino's done. I mean, some of the early trailblazers on the coaching side. But like I said, most of it goes back to the players and what they've been able to do to make it fun to watch.
Next question, right over here to the right.
Peter Katropis, Triangle Sports Network. Wes, jumping on from there, over the years it's become more challenging for coaches to maybe keep players or players to stay or keep them from exploring other avenues. And you've built up a team that's got some pretty good consistency and players like Isaiah and Sanaya staying with the program for a long time. And where's the challenge in that, in helping them to realize for themselves, whether to stay or go? And what's the challenge as a coach to try and create that atmosphere for them to stay and build and grow and keep climbing like you guys have been?
Yeah, we've been very blessed. In that, as you mentioned, Sanaya, Isaiah, Zoe, some of our high-profile players have been happy and been loyal. And, I especially take a lot of, just makes me feel good that like Isaiah James, who first year or two didn't probably play as much as she would like. And nowadays in this environment, a lot of kids would have left, and she stuck it out and developed and, is reaping the benefits of it now. So, but I think part of it too, our administration, Boo, Stephanie, they've given us the resources to give our student athletes an unbelievable experience. We do everything first class. So I think, that helps, that they feel like they're treated well and put in a good position. And then winning doesn't hurt any, as long as we can keep doing that. I think players still enjoy that. It's still important to them. But you're right. It's a little bit harder nowadays, a little bit different. But it is what it is. And I'm happy again. I think the whole, and I shouldn't probably go off this way, but the whole NIL idea was, I think, great idea. You come in, you play well, and a local dealership wants to let you use a car, or a local company wants to sponsor you, whatever. I think that's great. The recruiting process, I think, has gotten out of hand a little bit. But other than that, I think it's great for the student athletes, again, to be able to be rewarded for the time and work they've put in. So, but we have been blessed. There's no doubt about it. We didn't, from as far as our top players, they all stayed with us, and we were very blessed to have them.
Next, over here to the left.
How you doing? I'm Julian Bimbo from the Boston Globe. I was just curious, just because you touched on it earlier, can you think of an era that was similar to this one in terms of like the level of skill being so high, the competition level being so high, the viewership being so high, all at the same time, whether it was like the 2000s, mid-90s, late 80s, where things were peaking, or is this just a unique time for women's basketball?
Yeah, again, I just think it's really exploding right now like it never has, and I hope I'm heard you and answering correctly, but yeah, again, the game has taken leaps before, but I just think right now it's on, it's a rocket. It's taken off, and yeah. But again, you got to remember now that in the late 80s, I was Division III coach, so, we weren't getting a ton of viewership over there. So, it's still basketball. Going back to the first question, I had 5 or 6, I guess 6 of our former players that I coached 30 years ago in Division III come over and spend the weekend the last 2 years and see a game, and it's still basketball. And these young ladies, they love the game. So, it's just a added plus that now it's taking off and they're getting the recognition.
Brian?
Hey, Coach. Just talk about players sticking around. We've had a few in this current core, Zion, Sanaya, and Madison Hayes, part of that group as well. It's just really stuck around and grown in their time at NC State. What's it been like from your perspective to see them grow as basketball players and as people over the course of their time here in Raleigh?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the most rewarding part of being a teacher or a coach. Sometimes they don't always appreciate you in the moment, and I understand that. You're trying to push them and challenge them and get them, you maybe have higher expectations for them than they even have for themselves. But once they graduate and get out, and a lot of times they, will reach back out and appreciate maybe being pushed to be better. And to see the way some of them have grown, and especially those kids that have been here a few years, Sanaya's come a long way with her perimeter game, and Isaiah and Sanaya both, I think, handling adversity has gotten a lot better. Madison Hayes, I mean, she's, does it all for us, rebounding, shooting threes, defending. So, and then even this year to watch Tilda and Lorena, 2 freshmen, grow as much as they have, and they still got a long ways to go. But that's what you get in it for, is to see kids, develop, grow up, mature on the court, off the court. It's what makes you do this.
Over here to the right.
Hi, Coach. Peyton Underwood, CBS 17 Sports. Don't want to get my facts wrong here. So this program has played 21 of its NCAA tournament games here in Raleigh and is 19-2 in those contests. From a coach's perspective, how substantial is it to play here in Raleigh in your first weekend to open up the tournament?
There's no doubt. It's what you work for all year. And that's probably why I put more pressure on myself for, more than anything else, is trying to make sure you're a top 16 seed and get the opportunity to host. And, I've had Sirius Radio ask me this week in an interview, how I feel about the team getting to host and all that. Well, when I was at Chattanooga, I didn't particularly care for it so much. But now when you're, at an NC State, you want that opportunity, to earn that. And definitely it's what you work for all year. It's why every game is so important, because every game is going to be on that resume. And whether it's a big win or avoiding a bad loss, every night is a challenge. So, it's exciting to be at home. But, again, it doesn't guarantee you anything. You still got to go out and play well. And we know it's this time of year, all these teams are good. And if you don't play well, they'll bite you.
Over here to the left. Coach.
Hey, Coach. Caroline with Spectrum News. You talk about it being a time like no other for women's basketball. Let's talk a little bit about the financial incentives and units. How overdue do you feel that is for women's basketball teams to get paid to play in the tournament, and what do you think that means?
Yeah, I think it's pretty neat. I mean, I'm a team player. I want to do everything I can to help NC State athletics, and so it's great to have an opportunity to really contribute to that. And I think, again, a lot of it goes back to the viewership. Now they realize the value of women's basketball in advertising and all those areas, marketing. So now, they're being rewarded for that. So I think it's great. I mean, it is something that, coaches have strived for a long time. So it's neat to finally reach that goal.
Still here to the left with Brian, and then we'll get to Ernie and Bob.
Coach, you mentioned a little bit before Lorena and Tilda stepping up as freshmen. Zam Jones, we've also seen come up big off the bench as a freshman. This is also their first March Madness. Yeah. What's it been like preparing them for this stage? Obviously had another big stage in the conference tournament, but this is the big dance. Yeah,
it is, but it's still basketball, and I don't try to over stress it or whatever. I mean, I had a question early this week when we did a press conference about, you know, the mental health and all that. And, yeah, we got great resources for that. You know, we got plenty of people in sports psychologists, counselors, things like that, if that's needed. But, you know, I want this to be a fun time, you know, and like I said, I don't call it March Madness. I call it March Gladness. I mean, this is what you work for all year long. And so let's go out and enjoy it. And so we really hadn't talked a whole lot about that. You know, Zamaria's, you know, won a state championship. She's been in big games, travel ball, things like that. Tilda's played internationally. Lorraine, I mean, it's basketball at the end of the day. And, yeah, you know, you do worry when you got freshmen, they're gonna have ups and downs. I mean, that's just part of life. But, you know, they've been good for us all year, and we expect them to be good this weekend.
Over on the right side, Ernie.
Coach, yeah, I was going to, you know, you brought out the March Gladness. I think you should put that on T-shirts and make some money off that.
Yeah.
You know,
NIL deal.
Yeah, get an NIL deal for March Gladness, you know. But anyway, you've had some great teams here at NC State. What is it about this team that you love the most? What they have accomplished after making a Final Four last year?
Yeah, I'm real proud of this group because, again, we really didn't have a lot of good answers up front for our interior game. And, again, everyone says this time of year it's about guards. And so when you ask what I like about it, we've got some veteran guards that are really, really talented. You know, Sanaya and Isaiah and Zoe, those three in the starting lineup are and I'd say they could you could stack them up with about anybody in the country. And then, like I said, you're able to bring Zamari in as well as some of our others. So that's big. And then, you know, I think our freshman posts have come a long way. Are they there yet? No. But they're a lot better than they were 2 months ago. And so hopefully they're going to continue to grow like that. There's so much potential in both of them. So, yeah, I mean, again, it's exciting to be back in this position. I wasn't sure we'd be hosting and things like that. But they've done an unbelievable job. I think we went through a stretch where we won 20 out of 22 games. So I love the consistency, you know, showing up, night in, night out, taking care of business, and finding a way to win on a night when maybe you don't play great. So I still think we got room to grow. You know, I'm very disappointed in the ACC championship game. I think we can defend better. I think we can rebound better, and we better do that if we want to be in this tournament. You know, standing for a while.
Bob?
With Nikki West on your staff for so long, what have you noticed about her growth as a coach in the years?
Yeah, you know, everybody talks about Gino and Chris Daly, which, again, Gino only has about 400 more wins than me, so I don't know why he gets that much more attention, and 11 national titles. But anyway, Nikki's kind of my Chris Daly, you know, and she's taking on more and more responsibility, and you know, I'm learning to try to let stuff go a little bit, especially the stuff I don't want to deal with. I let her handle that. But she's really good. You know, she walks that fine line of the players love her and they know she's there for them and will do anything for them. But when they need to be told what's right, she don't mind stepping on some toes. And I think that's what coaching's about. I think that's what parenting is about, is being able to be a friend, but then also them understanding, hey, there's a little line here at some point. And she's done a great job of that. Extremely hard worker. And you go back to loyalty. You know, I know a couple of years ago she had another school offer her quite a bit more money. She turned it down without even telling me. Of course, then I went to Boo, and he made it right and helped us make it right. But it just tells you what kind of person she just you know, so very blessed to have her with me. And again, she oversees the whole staff pretty much. And like I said, is really great with the players as far as helping them, you know, hear what they need to hear instead of what they want to hear all the time, things like that.
Got time for one more question? Go back over here to the left.
Go ahead and do both of them.
I'll do it.
Daniel Wilson, SidePackSports.com. Obviously, you want to get back to the Final Four after the trip last year. Obviously, that doesn't happen until you win this upcoming game. Vermont comes in as the American East champion.
Yeah.
I believe they're 4th in the country in fewest points allowed per game.
Yep.
What stands out about them on tape?
Yeah. Well, you hit it right there. They're 4th in the country in fewest points allowed, 52 points a game. They're hot. They've won 9 of their last 10, 16 of their last 18. Probably concerns, their post play. They're going to have 2 bigs out there, whereas we a lot of times have 4 guards. So matching up, their posts can really score the ball. So that's a concern. How do we guard them without getting in foul trouble? Then maybe their best scorer from the perimeter standpoint, Hanson comes in off the bench and can, score from all 3 levels. I worry about, I focus, she's shooting like 44% from 3 on the season. Conference play, it's right at 40%. So when she comes in, she gives them a little spark and gets them going. So yeah, they got a lot to, to be worried about. And like I said, we're going to have to defend better than we did in Greensboro. So hopefully we'll learn from that because, again, their points are going to be hard to come by on the other end. So we better be defending on that end. But, yeah, people are talking about, well, you do this next, you do that. No, we're worried about Vermont. And, we love the movie A White Christmas, too. So Vermont, it's a great place.
Only because
Showing my age.
Only because Coach asked for it. Brian, you get the last question.
One, Brian.
Thank you, Coach. So talking about the freshmen a little bit here too, but you've seen them play a little bit more down the stretch of the regular season, the freshmen and young players in general, and into the conference tournament, as opposed to last year when you had, say, Zaya and Sanaya playing 40 minutes every night. How much does that help with the rotations to help keep players fresh in the grind of March?
Yeah, I'm probably still playing them too much, to be real honest. I'm going to have to try to hopefully be able to rotate a little bit, keep them a little bit fresher. Conference tournament's tough because you play 3 games in 3 days. At least here you have a day off in between or a day to prepare in between. I do. I'm excited about the freshmen we have. I'm going to include Devin Quigley in there. We've got Lacey Steele and Maddie Cox and Mallory, 3 sophomores. So I've got to look for opportunities to try to get them in there some. But, again, especially in the conference tournament, I probably should have tried to. But, again, every game over there was tight. I mean, that opening game against Georgia Tech, we held on by 1 point. And then, obviously against Carolina, hotly contested game. So, again, I've got a habit of sticking with as Darrell Royal used to say, again, showing my age, University of Texas football, we're going to dance with the one that brung us, but we still need to make sure we utilize the bench and try to keep people fresh.
Coach Westmore, thanks for your time. Welcome to the NCAA tournament.
Thank you.
NC State will practice at 11:30. The first 15 minutes are open.